So when you buy a stock, you're obviously thinking about the company, the price, the future, right? But have you ever stopped to think about the invisible engine that actually makes it all happen? Today, we're going to pull back that curtain on one of the most critical yet kind of hidden players in the entire Indian stock market.
I mean, really think about it for a second. You tap buy on your phone and poof, you own a tiny piece of a massive company. But it's not like they mail you a fancy paper certificate anymore. So where did it go? Where does that digital share of stock actually live? The answer is probably not what you think.
Okay, so the place where your shares live, it's basically a kind of digital vault. In the financial world, they call it a depository. And honestly, the best way to wrap your head around it is to picture a bank. But instead of holding your rupees, it securely holds all your stocks, your bonds, your mutual funds, everything, in a purely electronic form. This whole process is called dematerialization. And thank goodness for it, because it's what finally got rid of all those super risky paper share certificates from back in the day.
So, who runs this digital bank for all your investments? In India, we've got two main ones, but today we're zeroing in on the biggest one by the sheer number of investors, the Central Depository Services Limited, or as pretty much everyone calls it, CDSL. And as you're about to see, it's way more than just some background plumbing. It's the engine that's powering millions and millions of investment journeys.
Now, CDSL's been around since 1999, but its real story is one of absolutely mind-blowing acceleration. For the first couple of decades, yeah, growth was nice and steady, but then things just went into overdrive. Get this, it took them 21 years to get to their first 3 crore investor accounts, but then it took just 4 more years to pile on another 11 crore on top of that. That's not just growth, that's a straight-up explosion in people joining the market.
Okay, so you might be thinking, a huge, faceless institution is holding my shares. That might sound a little distant, maybe even a bit scary, but the entire goal of this system is actually the complete opposite. It's all about putting you, the investor, firmly in the driver's seat.
You know, they even have a name for this whole philosophy. CDSL calls it the hashtag Atmanirbhar Niveshak idea, which basically means creating a self-reliant investor. And trust me, it's not just some catchy tagline. It's really about building the technology that gives you the confidence to manage your own financial life, securely and completely on your own terms.
So what does this actually look like for you? Well, just think about how much investing has changed. First, just getting started used to be a nightmare of paperwork that took weeks. Now, with eKYC, boom, you're ready to invest in minutes. Next, if you wanted to sell shares, you had to literally sign and courier a physical slip. Today, you just use an EDIS, an electronic slip, to authorize it instantly from anywhere. And finally, you can see all your investments from all your different brokers all in one spot. It's a total redesign of the investor experience, built for speed and for your control.
But here's the cool part. This whole secure, digital-first system that CDSL built for stocks, well, it doesn't just stop there. They've taken that same logic and expanded it to create a hub for a whole universe of your financial assets. This all happens through their group of companies, and each one tackles a different piece of your financial puzzle. The same system that verifies your identity for the stock market also handles your digital insurance policies, putting them all in one easy-to-manage place. And it even covers commodities, letting you hold things like digital gold just as securely as you hold your shares. The big idea here is so simple but so powerful. Use one core system to organize and simplify your entire financial world.
All right, so let's zoom out. What happens when you combine this incredibly easy-to-use technology with a fast-growing economy? Well, you get something that's truly transformative. You literally create a nation of investors.
Just let this number sink in for a moment. Over 145 million. That is more people than the entire population of countries like Russia or Japan. This isn't just a number on a slide. It represents a massive, seismic shift in who gets to participate in our country's economic growth. And that number? It's still climbing, and climbing fast. At its peak, we saw an absolutely staggering 99 lakh. That's almost 10 million new investor accounts opened in a single 3-month window. And yeah, while that incredible pace has settled just a bit, you can see that millions of new investors are still joining every single quarter. This is a powerful, continuous wave of financial participation. It's not stopping. So what all this data really tells us is something, well, something quite profound. The retail investor, the small individual saver, is no longer just watching from the sidelines. They are now, without a doubt, a central force helping to shape the entire market.
So if this is where we are today, where are we headed? Well, that engine of innovation isn't slowing down one bit. And the focus is all on making things even simpler, even more transparent, and even more secure for you. The latest features are all about removing the little annoyances and adding more power. For example, direct payout just means when you sell stocks, the whole process is faster, cutting out delays. For company voting, you can now get expert advice right inside the app before you make a decision. And maybe best of all, you can now see everything you own across both of India's depositories with a single login in one unified view. Every single update is just another step towards making the whole system feel absolutely seamless. So we've seen how this incredible technology has unlocked the market for over 145 million people, making investing simpler and safer than it has ever been. They've built the foundation. The real question is, as it gets even easier, who will be the next 100 million investors to join? And how will their participation continue to shape and transform India's growth story? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.